There we go, on a Friday, 6 p.m. Guys, how are we going? We're still going for it? I need you. I need you here with me because this is, George, he's a great guy. He pulled this all together. Thank you, George. But he promised me the 6 p.m. slot on Friday would be the best. And I said, I'm in. He said, oh, no, it's all right. It starts late. All those tech guys, those digital guys, they start late anyway. They don't wake up before 2, 3 p.m. You'll be fine. And here I am with the best of the best. I love you. And I also have a story to tell. So let's make that an interactive story, guys. I'm going to just talk for a few minutes, probably longer, and then let's open it up to the floor, because I think that's what's needed. I'm very proud, but also guilty, because the reason that a lot of people left is that we were hosting on the Startup Expo, we were hosting the Auspost Tweet Fund event, and we have actually gave the floor to a lot of you, startups, entrepreneurs, those who've tried it a few times already, and just pitch your idea. In 45 seconds, we amplify it in all our channels, including Twitter, and then we have the vote of the customer, of the public, and we had a professional jury around. It was amazing, amazing. 2 winners. Yesterday on a tech day, we had My Mic, great company, run by Deidre. Just simple. If you're in a room like this, and there's always something going wrong with the mic, why not use your mobile as your mic, and you can use it as a platform to interact. And today, a new startup won, actually a doctor who just won and got the $5,000 grant to take home to amplify his business, who said, all the pages are limited, I can't do anything with it. I've built a platform that connects doctors to relevant content. How good is that? There's so much going on, and it's never been a better time to start up your business. But what is Australia Post doing here? What is Australia Post doing on a Friday at 6 p.m.? We're learning, guys. We're learning. So after we deliver the mail, we learn. And what we learn is how you guys work, how you guys actually start up your business, how you support, like a lot of you, other businesses start up. That's where we want to play in that ecosystem. And let's be honest, we've been disrupted ourselves. We've been disrupted for, 207 years since we've started. From the horse, to the motor car, to the fax, to the, telefax, how do you call it here? Telex, sorry. Then the phone, and then internet came up. And it was even more fast-paced. So Australia Post is not new. So when you talk about your Kodak moment, and when you read the introduction of PostFest this year, disruption is, are you having your Kodak moment? And we had a lot of those moments. Who thinks we're actually a Kodak company? Who thinks we are the next Kodak? I love you. There's one there. So let's argue about that, but hopefully I convince you there's a lot of stuff going on in our business. But we had to reinvent ourselves. We had to reframe our strategy. And where we've been in the business for over 200 years of connecting people, helping to do commerce, helping to transact, we now need to do that in the digital world. And it's easy to say with a lot of digital minds here in the room, to say you do that simply by just building digital services, or bring your products online. But it's not as simple as that, because competition has increased, and you all know the story about our letters business, because we don't send letters anymore. The mails business, they're a very valuable business if you want to get your message across in one-to-one, but nobody's sending letters anymore, less letters, and that's the reality of Australia Post. On the other hand, we had that great opportunity to actually reinvent ourselves and look at what are new ways of doing business and helping the community in Australia, but also making sure that we still have a viable business and a future for our people. And we have found that in the world of e-commerce. So you will see a lot of our strategy and a lot of our outings in terms of We Love Delivering is created around e-commerce. Not just in the sense of helping people to buy online, and I will touch on that a little bit later, or sell online, but also how do you help people across Australia to deal with a digital transaction and to deal with digital other channels. So it all started with disrupting ourselves. So we had to build solutions for a digital age. And the solution for a digital age are not just what I said, bringing products online, but totally reinventing the experience. And what I hope that you start to see is that Australia Post will become that omni-channel experience where whether you have you in our pocket, whether you deal with us in the post office or through other channels, that the experience is getting better and better. Because we took it seriously. We can only sustain if we listen to our customers and if we take a customer-centric approach. And that's what we've been doing for the last few years. And that's not easy, because big companies, as some of you will know, deal with a lot of legacy, deal with systems. But the only way to avoid that is taking the principle of the customer first. And that is now a given in our business. And I will talk a little bit about that when we talk about our cultural change and our staff. So, what are the ways to not only build that new experience, but what is the driver for change? If you have a company that exists of 36,000 people, who mainly are in the operation every day, sending parcels, selecting parcels, sorting parcels, dealing with customers. The only way we could do that is to fundamentally change how our staff is operating, how our staff is on a daily basis thinking about what it is that our customers want. And the problem we have is you can't do that like many of you startups in a single conversation or just a video. You have to really think that out because it's a big company. So what we've done in that regard is started to adapt new ways of working. So for us, customer-centric design, human-centric design is incredibly important. And that starts small, guys. So let's not say that all across Australia Post, that is the methodology we're using. But we started where it's relevant, in our digital channels, where we had to change. We are now experimenting. We're talking much more to customers than we were doing before, just to get a sense of what they want. We start to work on solutions, small solutions, minimal viable product, bring it out there and test it again. And if we fail, we do it again. And if we're successful, we scale it up. That's how we bring solutions to the market. But in order to empower your people to do that, you have to have a totally different management style. So the management style within big companies in general, but also in our company, is changing significantly. So people are working in smaller teams, are often co-located around different problems or different opportunities that we have with customers, and we bring together people from different backgrounds, developers, testers, product people, channel people, and bring them together and make them accountable for a problem and help them to solve it and give them, empower them actually to do that. Another very strong point a point we were facing is how do you bring that new way of working and new way of thinking in? So instead of teaching it ourselves, we're now working with a lot of accelerators and incubators across Australia to bring our people into those organizations with our customer problems, with our challenges, with our opportunities, commercial opportunities. And they work in specific accelerators in their methodology to flesh it out and to build it up to a new idea. And then the great thing is they bring it back in. They bring it back in and say, where in the world of sending parcels, creating the best possible receiving experience for our customers, or the world of how I manage your identity, or the world of how I do my financial transactions, you can then bring that back in the organization. Finance and budget, always a big topic in big companies. We've been successful within Australia Post and in Star Trek to reinvent our capital process and our funding process. Instead of massive business cases that require a lot of work on requirements, and by the time the requirements are done, the market has moved on, and probably your customer has moved on. We're now adapting a model where we are looking at capacity-funded investments, where we have long-running teams that work in an agile fashion, co-located on a problem, and to delight customers. The advantage of that is that we can actually make them long-running, and we can throw problems at them that are here and now, and not things that are out there and too big to fix. And the momentum you create with that, and some of the guys who work on that on a daily basis are actually here in the room, so find a time afterwards to connect to them and ask, did Dirk tell the right story or not, or is he just making it up? It is just great to see those people working on day-to-day, on the board, on the Kanban, and fleshing out what should we do next, and reach out to the business and make sure it is happening. Just a few topics where we really took that serious, and I hope what you take out of it is that big companies, it will take time to change, but if you don't start, you will never finish. Start small, start in pockets, recruit the right talent, as we heard before, and make sure that they can operate in an environment that they feel comfortable with, but also give them the trust and empower them to bring out the right solutions. That's why today we have very compelling solutions in the market. 3.2 million customers have signed up for a MyPost account because they see value in the way they can have a personalized relationship when they pay bills, when they track their parcels, or interact with their parcels through their Apple Watch or whatever, if they want to redirect their parcels because they're currently not at home. Backing small business. We're here for a reason. We've been backing small businesses for 200 years, because don't forget, guys, the post office was a hub, especially here, but also in more regional areas, where people would connect, where people will find out what others are doing in the area. Today, that is still the same. So we're very proud to be a supplier of a lot of small businesses who are starting up. And I just did a model last week where we actually figured out that there are more than 3 million businesses in Australia. You will say, you know, there are only 2.1 registered businesses, Dirk, and a lot of them are not trading because they're super funds or whatever, or trusts. But did you know that about 1.5 million companies are actually trading in services, in goods, or whatever? But our data tells us there's 1.6 million individuals like you and I who run a business or think of themselves that they run a business. So we talk about the economy of entrepreneurs. Everybody now can start a business. It's never been easier. And you don't have to have an ABN for it, because even if you sell stuff online on the marketplaces like eBay or Gumtree or Etsy at night, you are a business. You run a business. And it's never been easier to do that. But you need to get it right. And backing small business means, how can we help you to look big? Because who's selling online in the room? Who's got an online shop, an online store, or a store with an online shop? A few there in the back. You will know that the minute you start your brand or you start to sell online, you deal with the big end of town. Whether you sell on eBay, you will see it in your ratings. Whether you sell on your own shop, your online shop, you will see it. You have to start from scratch. And you're competing straight away, guys, with the big end of town. You compete with the big brands from international. So how can you make yourself look big? We're working with a lot of small business, and you saw a few examples out there, to give them that big business capability. That means give them services and access to 190 countries across the world. Making sure we give them a platform to sell on. A few years ago, we started a platform called farmhousedirect.com.au. It started very small, but today over 500 sellers, farmers, are selling their produce on Farmhouse Direct straight to the end consumer. It was not there. It was not existent. We looked at that vertical, it fits our profile, and we say, how can we back small businesses by giving them an opportunity not only to sell on Saturday and Sundays on marketplaces, on farmers market, but also to sell on online marketplace. Highly successful, driven by a small team out of Australia Post, but really connected to the industry. Good Spender, the guys were here today and yesterday. We help them out, we connect them to our business. They're using our platform because social business, social enterprises are very important for us. So through the Good Spender network, we do mentoring sessions, and we also provide them the network for business to go online. And there are numerous examples where we, also in rural and regional communities, where we reach out to businesses and have free go online and grow online sessions. Small businesses can learn about what does it take to take my business online. And it's not just Australia Post telling that story, it's Google, it's eBay, it's Facebook. It's all the businesses that can have valuable services and solutions and platforms for the smaller businesses that are just starting out. Are you still with me, guys? We good? Don't sleep. Making online selling simpler. Big passion of mine. I came to Australia 4.5 years ago because I saw the massive opportunity here in Australia. Currently about 7% of the retail spend is spent online, and we have to double that, guys. But we're waking up. It's that giant that we're waking up. It's massive to see the big end of town coming to the party, but the volume is also created by a lot of new businesses, pure players, or guys like you are starting up their business. For us, again, a very important part to enable that. 75% of our volume is coming from an online transaction. 75%. 240 million parcels a year go through our network. We did over 1 million parcels just before Christmas, closer to 1.5 million. That's incredible, and if that's driven by online, it's just starting. But you need to build the ecosystem to do that. We can't do it ourselves, so tapping our service into relevant platforms where you or your colleagues or other entrepreneurs are trading is important for us. eBay has a rich feature on shipping, where you can directly integrate with services and create the best experience ever in one click. There are numerous examples in that area where we support businesses to go online and to grow online. One example I want to call out is that all our services now start to emerge not only in e-commerce platforms, but also in other areas through APIs. And businesses, platforms can directly tap into our services and pass on and personalize the experience to their customers. I'm running out of time here, so I need to speed up a little bit. Fostering entrepreneurship, very important theme for this PausFest. We're very excited to announce just before Christmas that we take entrepreneurship serious. And not just say it, but also do it. So we've launched an investment fund, an innovation fund of $20 million to work together with accelerators, with incubators, with investors to help Australians to take up their business to the next level. That's exciting. That's exciting. And we feel that we can contribute. For us, the measure will be, can we support businesses in e-commerce, broadly defined, where it helps to create a better life for our customers, whether that's a business or whether that's a consumer, a customer or a citizen. So that will be the measure for us. And we're now going around and we're leveraging a lot of our partnerships and relationships to actually say, where can we best support? We've also launched recently with MAP, the Melbourne Accelerator Program, hosted by Melbourne University, 2 seats of their 10 seats. We're now hosting and funding 2 of the accelerator seats where small businesses can go in and actually learn it through the Melbourne Accelerator way to take their business to the next level. Again, we would love to see businesses who are active in e-commerce or active in the business we do, but it's open to everybody. And I think it's a sign where you can start to see that it's not just words, but it's also doing it. And we keep that on arm's length. It will be different companies, but we will like to be a part of that ecosystem. The last one that I want to call out is that there's a lot to do about co-working spaces. We have a lot of real estate, so soon you will hear that we launched the first as we call it, Business Hive. And in the Hive, we facilitate co-working spaces for starting entrepreneurs. They can work there for a very, very reasonable fee. They have access to knowledge, access to a navigator, access to IT, and access to Australia Post if they want. We work with a lot of partners there, and it's for us to help them to get to the next level. All the things that we're investing in to make it easier. So guys, I don't know what you think, but I'm excited. It's never been a better time to start up your business. So if you have that idea, go for it. Everybody who was here in this week is supporting you. Even the small businesses, the technology businesses, but even big businesses like Australia Post. So disruption for us is not new. Disruption is just for us. Can we keep up with technology, and can we keep up with you? And I want to finish off with a video that actually calls out and celebrates the life of small businesses in Australia. Thank you.
Look at that. Oh.
There's a movement going on. We're taking on the world online from our kitchens, from our garages, from our bedrooms and our backyards. We're armed with ideas and backed by belief. And now being local doesn't mean we're selling local anymore. The world is open for business like never before. So think of it here and sell it everywhere. We're the business behind small business. Australia Post.
Okay, thank you guys.